We are in the thick of summer where I live, which is also peak plein air painting season. So today I'm going to show you my semi-lightweight, simple plein air oil painting setup, how I pack my backpack and keep things simple and easy for summer plein air painting. Let's get into it. Before I even consider the materials, I want to make sure that I am prepared. I always wear a hat. I do tend to get burns on the side of my cheeks when I'm painting for long periods of time in strong sunlight. Maybe a wider brimmed hat would be better, but I just love a baseball cap. And then even my clothing I want to consider. So this shirt would not be ideal to go plein air painting in. It is lightweight and has good coverage, but the color is too strong. This pink is going to reflect into my painting and affect my color choices. So I'm going to opt for a more neutral, lightweight, sun protecting shirt. So let's change into that. If I'm going to be in a field that has potential for ticks or no-see-ums to be crawling on me, I will wear long pants with socks tucked over my pant legs and boots. Depending on where I'm going, I'm going to think about what I'm wearing to best set me up to focus on painting. Now let's get to the gear. This has been my plein air painting backpack for 8 years. I got it from one of my first art teachers. She had two, one that she was using for her plein air backpack. It's very simple, it's not fancy. It does have a belt here that comes out of this compartment to clip around your waist to help carry the weight, which I have found helpful for long painting excursions when by the end of the day you're just physically tired and any help to bear that load is helpful. Just has a large inner pocket and a small pocket here, and I'll show you how I pack this. Now for my easel setup. Let me show you this here. This is my Sienna pochade box. This is the size small, and I actually purchased this box on eBay close to a decade ago. I always recommend, if you're in the market, looking secondhand first, because I got this for an unbelievable price. It was never used. As you can tell, I have used it a lot. It has this side panel that attaches right here to give me space for my brushes or even my Gamsol to sit. It conveniently hooks here to the back. I'll show you that when I break it down. I have never let my plein air painting dictate my palette of colors. So as you can see here, I have a split primary palette of about 14 colors, and I will squish all of those colors out before I even go out painting, so that when I get to the location, I can just open the box and be good to go. This pochade box goes up to about 16 inches, I believe, 12 or 16 inches. If I am going to be painting larger than that on location, I will sometimes bring my larger pochade box, but it doesn't fit into my backpack. So if I need to have everything fit into my backpack, but I still want to paint larger, I will bring my larger panel and masking tape, and I will just tape it across the back here so that it sticks and stays on the pochade box. It's not the most glamorous option, but it works for me. All right, let's get this into my backpack and show you how I keep this setup, like I said, simple and semi-lightweight. I am not doing a lot of painting at high elevations where I live, or doing a lot of hiking. So I don't need to have the lightest weight possible everything. A light tripod, you know, carrying as little as possible into the field with me. So this setup, I keep it as light as possible, but it's not geared necessarily towards being the lightest possible. And it works for me. So this goes in first. As I said, it would have the paint already squished out. Nicely nestles into the backpack, and next I will address the tripod. This is a Velbon brand tripod that I purchased off of Amazon. I have really enjoyed the quality of this tripod. Again, it's not the lightest one on the market, but it's also not the heaviest. And I find it to be sturdy and there's very little wobble when I have it properly set up. The wobble is so frustrating when you're painting and your pochade box is just going back and forth. So highly recommend this tripod. I'll show you how I attach it to my backpack in just a second. When I'm oil painting, sometimes I will want to do a little preparatory sketch. So in that case, I will bring a small sketchbook and pencil, and that goes into this pocket right behind my pochade box, along with my panels. I will bring a couple different sizes because I'm never totally sure the ratio that I want to paint. Maybe I'll want a more square ratio for a barn or a more horizontal ratio for a more dramatic landscape. So I'll bring 8x10, 6x12, 9x12, and that also just slides right back here in this back pocket. I can fit up to a 11x14 in this backpack. Again, on the topic of paint, I have never let my plein air painting limit the number of colors that I bring with me. What I have done in the past to keep weight down is buy my paint colors in small tubes so that I'm carrying around smaller, less heavy tubes than my large tubes. But what I found is my large tubes aren't full completely for very long, so the weight evens out, and it is comfortable for me to carry all those colors and the way that I'm plein air painting at this time of my life. So I throw all of those colors into the bottom next. And now we have to think about brushes. I love a long-handled brush. There are a few types of brushes that I have that have short handles, but for the most part, I have long-handled brushes. And I have used this brush carrier for a long time, as you're going to see. It has done many a plein air session. This was, I think, $3 from Jerry's Artorama. They still sell them. They work really well. I usually bring a lot more brushes than this, but just for example's sake, I put a couple in. Great organization, keeps them nice and the bristles protected, and then when they're dirty, at the end of the day, you're not getting paint everywhere inside your bag, which of course, you can tell, doesn't actually bother me. But if that matters to you, this is a great option. This I'll put in next. Recently, I have started to do something a little bit different and maybe a little bit lazier, but also more space saving. I will put my paper towels in. My favorite brand is Viva. I love Viva paper towels. I will put the paper towels in and use the inner tube, the cardboard tube of the paper towels as my brush holder. So this is in, firmly placed to the bottom. My brushes are in, and it protects the bristles. It also helps me limit the number of brushes that I'm bringing with me on location, because I find that I will bring every brush under the sun and still only use one or two throughout the entire process. So after paying attention to which one or two I used repeatedly after months of plein air painting, I have learned which ones I really actually need out in the field. It's only a couple, and I'll just use the inner portion of that paper towel holder to keep them safe in my backpack. I frequently will forget to bring a trash bag for my dirty paper towels. If I do forget, it's not the end of the world, because I'll just use my backpack as the paper towel receptacle. As you can tell, that has made my backpack very dirty, but when I do remember, I'm happy. Sometimes I will bring my Gamsol. I've gotten away from using Gamsol, but I find it really helpful when plein air painting, when you're under that time crunch and the light is moving so quickly. It's nice to have a mineral spirit that will help the paint move quickly when you want it to. So I will have my little travel small size Gamsol tin. That goes in the box next. So at this point, I have my panels, my paint box, my brushes, my paints, and my paper towels. So I'm pretty much good to go in the painting department at this stage, and I still have quite a bit of extra room. So that's when I start to think about my physical needs out in the field. I will bring a Tupperware of a snack or a sandwich. I have eaten an unholy amount of peanut butter and jelly out in the field, and I also have room for a water bottle. Very important to bring. And when I am going to be going out and plein air painting and wanting to gather high quality reference material in the form of photos, and I want to use something higher quality than my cell phone, I will bring my nicer camera in a case, and it fits really nicely right here in the top of this bag. And then the bag is full and I have everything that I need for the day. Now it's time to attach my tripod. Some tripods come with bags that you can just sling over your shoulder. That can be helpful, but when I really want it to be a one and done, hands-free experience, I use the front straps on this bag and kind of thread my tripod through. And then this is just a cheap, like $2 belt that I bought at a store in Maine called Rennie's. Shout out to Rennie's if you know it, Mainers. And it just has been threaded through some of the straps on the front of this bag. I tighten it up and there you go. It's attached to the backpack. And I am good to go out into the field for a day of plein air painting. It's not too heavy at all. I have everything that I need to go out and focus on painting without worrying about having forgotten something. Maybe you are primarily a portrait painter and the idea of plein air painting seems superfluous, exhausting, tiring, hot, and unnecessary for your portrait work. Or maybe you're a plein air painter, landscape painter, still life painter, and the idea of doing portraits seems difficult, awkward, and you're just not sure why it's necessary. I was taught by all of my teachers across the country, living masters, that having cross disciplines, painting all of the different subject matters, all inform each other. So if you're primarily a plein air painter, focusing on portraiture will only improve your plein air or vice versa. Sort of like going into different mediums to help inform your main medium. I have started an online life painting group, the Broadcasting Brushers, in order to give people access to painting models from life, because in my experience, I have found that it is the most difficult subject matter to get access to, because you have to have space, you have to have lights, you have to have props, and you have to pay the model yourself and find the model in the first place. So that's where Broadcasting Brushers was born, out of my desire to give access to live models in 4K resolution, the highest quality reference material, to artists all around the globe. And so far we have 80 artists joining to paint together live twice a month. I hope you'll check it out and come paint with me.